chop it in half. Chop, okay.
Swinging on and happy, hippie, yeah. Hippie, yeah.
What's up YouTube, welcome back to Whacked Out ECIG. Today we're looking at the Velocity RDA clone, and I have two of them. One is from ecigarettes.ca, it's made by Tobeco, and one is by a brand that I don't know the name of, but I got it from Fasttech. That's this one. I'm going to show you it up close, do a build in it to show you how easy this is to build in, and then I'm going to give one away. So let's get started. This is the box that the Velocity clone comes in, and this one is from Fasttech. You can see, I don't know if you can see, there's a little FT hologram thing just to show you it's from Fasttech. And then this is the Tobeco one that I got from ecigarettes.ca. So the one on the left is not from Tobeco, obviously. It's got different branding and stuff, but we're gonna compare them. So we'll start with the Tobeco one. You get your Velocity, and then a drip tip adapter and some spare O-rings, and then you will get a Allen key as well. So the first thing I noticed about this device is just how well machined it is. You can see that it's tapered up there just perfectly, and when it's completely closed off, the airflow holes are closed off. You have a serial number, which is probably not valid because it's not an authentic, and then I guess a stainless steel, I believe it is copper, silver, yeah, stainless steel plated copper. I'll zoom in this and show you why I think that. So see, that seems to be some scratching on the stainless steel, and it appears to be copper. So the drip tip is actually threaded in, so you know once it's in there, it's not going anywhere. And then to adjust the airflow, what you do is you just spin it, and you can see while I do that, these holes are opening all around, and that's one of the airflows. I think they call it an indirect airflow because your coils are generally under those holes. So if you want airflow coming in from above the coils, you can set it like that, or you can keep spinning it and you can see it opens up. You can see right through there the two holes, and this can just open a lot. And once that, you can open it to whatever level you want, but you can either open them and keep these holes closed, or you can open up the holes and have those, or you can close off them like halfway. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. And if you keep screwing this way, the airflow control valve thing will pop off, and then you're just left with the inner shell, I guess. And you can see the airflow configuration. So yeah, the one thing that I don't like about this is there's no single coil option. I think there should be. Yeah, I just thought that might be cool. Maybe if they had like one hole there, that would be nice, but it's not that big of a deal. So putting this on a mod, we'll check out the deck, and you can see here why how it is so easy to build coils on here. You have your Allen key screws there, and you have two on the top and two on the bottom, so you can position them however you want to. The deck is very deep. Let me see if I can, I don't know if that gives you an idea, but yeah, I think they said it's somewhere around 6 millimeters, so it holds a good set of juice. And there's no bottom airflow, right? So it's not gonna really leak. And then that insulator there, right here, I don't think this is peak, but it could be. I'm not 100% sure, but it seems a bit white for peak. So maybe it's Delrin, I'm not sure. But when you're ready to put in your coils, you just put the Allen key in and unscrew, and then the holes are open, and then you can tighten them back down. So that's the Tobeco velocity, and here is the Fasttech velocity. So you get some silica coils, just throw them away, honestly, it's bullshit. Your drip tip adapter. Here's a cool thing. Now, I thought I was going to get this with the Tobeco one, but I didn't. Here you have a bottom feeding 510 pin. I'll take that out. And then, you know, spare screws, O-rings and stuff. Yeah, this is the bottom feeding 510 pin. I haven't used this yet, but it's pretty interesting. So basically, if you have something like a squonker box or any kind of squonker where a squonker is basically a mod that holds a bottle and then there's a tube leading into your device, and then you can squeeze the bottle and juice will come through that hole in the top and will wet your wicks. So yeah, see, that is the bottom of the 510 pin, and I like that it comes with that anyway. So finally, the last thing to take out is the velocity, and the reason I like this one is because it just looks so slick. This is black and it just looks nice. I notice when this is closed down, it seems to be almost completely closed but not completely closed. Whatever, I don't vape it completely closed off anyway. So exactly the same, the drip tip is threaded in. Exactly the same, the airflow, you twist it. And compared to the Tobeco one, I find the O-rings for this airflow thing is a lot tighter, but I'm sure with some juice in it, it will smoothen up. I like that two-tone thing as well. You get the silver and black. Kind of looks like Batman. Not gonna lie, I have a Batman device. Okay, that pops off, and you're left with the base just like the other one. So what happens is this part on my right just slides over that O-ring, and once it stops, it's not going to go any further. Then you know that it's ready to thread, and it is a lot of threading. Okay, so on the right is the stainless steel, right, and on the left is the black. On the right, this is the Tobeco one that you just saw, and this is the Fasttech one. And actually, if you can see the difference, that insulator in there actually looks more like PEEK than the Tobeco one. But essentially, they're exactly the same. The only real difference between the Tobeco one and this one is that the 510 pin there is copper, and this one is copper, stainless steel plated copper. So yeah, that doesn't really make a difference to me. So now I will put a build in the black one. Okay, to create this build, you're going to need a screwdriver, wire cutters, scissors, tweezers, something to wrap your coils around. This particular rod I'm using is 2.5 millimeters, and this is what I use for most of my builds. If you can find something that's 2.5 millimeters, I find that's just, for me, that's the perfect size. Then you're going to need about a foot of 24 gauge Kanthal wire. Once you have the foot, then you'll cut it in half and get two 6-inch strands, just about. Then you're going to need some cotton. I'm using Koga cotton. And finally, your velocity clone. Okay, so I'm going to use this coil jig again and my 24 gauge. Tighten that down. And I am going to do 10 wraps, okay? And 10 wraps is a lot, but I want to show you that it can fit. And we're going to want both leads going the same way. So you see that looks pretty good, but we can push it up against the side, make it look even better. And you're going to want to do that again. Okay, so now we have our two coils. Now how I do this, this could not be more simple. Okay, we're gonna unscrew all of these. Okay, so they're all relatively open. Next step, take your coils, and I'm gonna put one lead in the bottom and one lead in the top. And the reason I do that is because see, this lead goes under and through, and this one goes over. It just kind of makes it more stable. So you see, instantly the coil is centered, right? This is what makes this atomizer so amazing. So I'm just going to put my thumb there and hold it in place relatively well and screw it in. Do it on the other side. Nice and tight. And bada boom, bada bing. We have a perfectly centered coil. Just like that. Wire cutters, remember, hold the wire. Now we put in our other coil. And see, the way this is designed, you don't have to worry about getting the leads in the way of the other coil or anything, because they're in different places, so you don't have to worry about it. Slide that out, chop the leads, and here you have two perfectly centered coils. The resistance came out to 0.34, that should be fine. So I'm sure you all know this by now. If you don't, give a light squeeze with your tweezers. Try it again. Glowing a little bit better now. And just, this is a standard thing now, just strum it. Just do a few on either side and look at the magic happen. Bam. Perfectly glowing coils. Let's get some cotton in there. Alright, so now I'm cutting my cotton, and I want a decent amount of cotton for this, especially because the well is so deep. Normally I would eyeball it with whatever I'm using for the rod, but I want a good set of cotton in this because it's a low build. So I'm gonna go about there. And see, I could have done that a lot better because now it's kind of weird, but I'm just gonna roll it. Get it into a nice thickish cylindrical shape. And since we're doing two coils, we don't need to waste any cotton. We can just cut that in half. And at first you may not get the right amount of cotton if you're first starting building, but you know, you get used to it and you start realizing how much you need to use. So twist up one end so it can fit through the coil easily. Once it's through, just kind of pull it through. Fluff it up a bit. And I could probably use more cotton than that, but you know, this coil cotton stuff is pretty expensive for cotton, so I try not to waste it if I can. I can take this same Allen key and I take my finger and push it across and just stuff it in. Do it on the same side. We're going to do this on everything. Now let's get some juice on it. This is the juice I'm going to be using. It's Breakfast at Telios, the milk. This is heavenly stuff. Heavenly. What, like, this tastes so good, I can't explain it, but I picked it up at the ECIG Flavorium, downtown Toronto. So yeah, we're just going to kind of paint up our coils. And you can watch this. This is basically a full dropper. I can just do this. After completely saturating the coils, you can fit about half a full dropper top, and it's still wicking into the coils, so you can fit a lot of juice in here. See if it's firing. Awesome. Let's vape it. So as far as airflow goes, might be kind of hard to see through there, but honestly that amount of airflow is enough for me, and that's barely open, right? So you'll see it when we go back out, but just line it up and you're ready to vape. So honestly, this is the best RDA I've ever purchased. First of all, it looks fantastic. This black one especially, I just find this looks amazing. It is a cloud blowing atomizer. That's something to note. The air, you get so much airflow. Even with this is barely open compared to what I can do. And I'm getting decent clouds off of it. It is a very restricted draw, so I'm getting that restricted draw that I like, but I'm still getting a lot of clouds, and the flavor is phenomenal. I was not expecting the flavor that I got off of this, but the flavor is really good. The drip tip falls out. No, yeah, the drip tip comes out. It's threaded in, so once it's in there, it's not going anywhere. The airflow is super easy to find out what you like, because something like the El Cabron, right? You have to unscrew the top, and then you can adjust it. Then you have to screw it back in. It's a bit troublesome compared to this. It doesn't seem bad until you get one of these, honestly. The deck is just perfect. It's perfect. You don't have to worry about centering your coils, because as soon as you put them in with the two posts, it centers them. That not only makes it good for regular Kanthal builds, but something like nickel builds where you need spaced coils, a lot of wraps. This is perfect. I'll probably do a nickel build tutorial and titanium and stuff in this in the future. If anyone's interested, leave a comment, because if no one's interested, I probably won't do it, to be honest. Yeah, the deck is super deep. I think it's 6 millimeters. That is really deep, and you can fit a lot of juice in there. So, but it's understandable, because if the airflow is fully open, you're gonna go through juice like nothing. A quick disclaimer kind of thing I want to say is, if you can afford the authentic of this, my advice is to buy it, because the guys who make this, Cisco and someone else, I can't remember his name, Cisco and someone else from Avid Vapor, have been around forever in the vaping industry, and they've created some top-notch stuff, like the old screw-in, the disposable dripping atomizers. They did them. The 306s, the HH through 57s. They know what they're doing. So if I could afford the authentic, I would buy one of them, but it's $100 plus US. So I love the work and the art and the mechanics that go into this, but I just can't afford the authentic. So if you're in the same position, I advise to get the clone. Okay, this one that I got from Fasttech, 10 US. 10 US for this incredible atomizer. Comes with a bottom feeder pin if you want to use it on a squonker, stuff like that. A peak insulator. This is really good. This is a 1-to-1 clone. The Tobeco is also a 1-to-1 clone, but I didn't get the bottom feeding pin, but that cost 25 Canadian from ecigarettes.ca. So if you want the Tobeco one, you can get that from in Canada, and it's, you know, you're not going to be waiting that long for shipping and stuff. But if you don't mind waiting for it, you can get this one from Fasttech. So I think what would be a good idea now is to give one of these away. I'm going to be giving away the Tobeco one, the stainless steel one. All you have to do to win the Velocity is be a subscriber of this channel. Pretty simple. Comment on the video that you have entered the giveaway easy link that's in the description. If you have any questions about this, leave them in the comments. Don't forget to share, subscribe, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon.